Like thing.
Oh my god, actually, we're on, aren't we? We're on. Yeah. You told me what you did last time. And I said I'll rinse you for it, but I forgot. You're looking at me like you don't know.
No, it's like that.
Welcome back to the podcast. Reese goes to his barber and takes photos of Jack Eagles in.
This is not making the video. I'm editing this.
Mate, I didn't. Come on. You can't leave that in. Like, it's funny.
No. From me to you, away from the camera. I literally said, I explained, I had that haircut last year. I had the same haircut last year.
Keep this in.
No, I had the same haircut last year. And I said, I want it a bit narrower at the back. I don't want it as bushy as I had it.
Let me show you a photo of my idol, Jack Eagles.
And then he goes, have you got a photo or something? I said, yeah, Jack's had it. Because Jack has the same, but just thinner.
I've
been with him for years now. And he's like,
no. He literally was like, Reese is getting is it called like a buzz fade or something?
Burst fade.
Burst fade. Yeah, Reese, he was like, Reese is getting a burst fade. I was like, is he? He was like, yeah. He showed me this photo of a guy who's got it.
Proper hench lad.
No, he said something. He was like, he's built, like he trains. And I was like, he was like, you'll know him. I was like, I don't know. And he was like, yeah, he's like quite big. And I was like, and he went, Reese, he beat Reese. And I went, Jack Eagles. And he was like, yeah. I was like, Reese came in and showed you a photo of Jack Eagles for his hair. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, amazing.
Great, I've got ammo. No, I had that haircut last year. I literally just didn't want it as bushy. And when I saw Joe Gann and him do a photo shoot, Joe Gann had the same kind of back as me, and Jack had it a bit more tapered. I went, that looks cool. And I was going to get it anyway, but I just didn't want it as bushy. Hello, people. We are now doing our show review. We have got 3 shows to go through. We've got the Two Bros first show of the year. What's it called? The Braywick.
It was Condition.
The Condition Cup. So shout out Martin. We do need to get Martin on. I think we've been saying Martin's done really well. The last year or two. To be fair, he's done well probably his entire career, but I think the last year or two.
You know who else would be cool to maybe get on in person? Who actually said he'd probably? Well, I say probably. He said he'd like to have this as his home gym. Dom, Dom Kirby.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick. Yeah. Dom, he's at FIBO this weekend actually.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying he'd be cool to have on. Seems like a nice guy.
So we had the first show of the season. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Two Bros really didn't post too much.
They posted a decent one.
Yeah, they didn't. They never really post as much, so it's not the same amount of content. So we've got Two Bros, we've got PCA, the Scottish, and then we also have that's one of my clients in there, and then we also have Fitex. We'll probably go through them with more so on the first 2. Fitex, there's not loads to talk about, but shout out Deck. You're going to get a moment to mention soon. Yeah. So we'll start off the overall bodybuilding winner. Now this was announced literally at like 10 a.m.
Yeah, it was early. I don't know how. I'm assuming the show wasn't that busy.
No, I don't think it was. So I don't think there was a class bigger than 4 in the entirety of bodybuilding. I think most of the bodybuilding classes there was like 1, 2, 3 dudes. So the overall was Ben Bogdanoff. His name's like Ben Diesel. Ben Diesel. Mr. Vin Diesel's brother. Same haircut as well as Vin Diesel. Jack Eagle. Did you go in and say, hey, can I have a haircut like Vin Diesel? My name's Ben Diesel. So yeah, Ben Diesel in the overall. In the overall, Josh Dougal, Billy Stella.
Ballinger. Oh no, he was in
there. Yeah, Billy Stella, he won his class. And then who was the other?
Fraser?
No, that's the super heavyweight guy.
Was that far?
You're doing a Gary Neville, you are. Where you haven't watched and haven't researched. I've been researching it. The super heavyweight class was Ben, Fraser.
And you'd have come 5th. We said, didn't we?
Oh yeah, defo, 100%. Yeah, 100%. I would have got like second call-outs. Like, they would have literally done their own 4-man call-out and then called me out. So yeah, it was Ben, Joe, Fraser, and Josh Dougal. That was the super heavyweights. Which, to be fair,
who was the overall?
The overall was Ben, Billy. Who the others? I think I said the other 2, didn't I? Yeah, don't know. Do you know the gentleman on the left and right?
No.
Because I don't. Yeah. That was the overall battle. Quite a easy win, I'd say, for Ben.
His class was probably harder than that.
Yeah, the class was a lot harder. The super heavyweight class, probably would argue, was maybe the class of the day.
Is this the middleweight?
Yeah, that's Billy. He did. I'm pretty sure Billy did first time as PCA. I think the same show as I did. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember. I think he competed it. I'm not too sure, Billy, but I think I remember you. I think he was coached by Tom.
Bogdanov.
Yeah. I think it was coached by Tom, Evolution Training. So this was the overall battle. I don't know if they've got any super heavyweights lineup, but that was the best. So we had obviously Ballinger stepped up from Classic, stepped down from Open to Classic, then back up from Classic to Open. Thank the Lord. I remember having a conversation with Joe.
Was that not health related though?
I don't think so, no. It's just because the weight cap went up and he was like, I feel like I can squeeze into it. And I remember having a chat with Joe at trained by JP Gyms / Shed before they changed the name.
You can't say that.
You can't say that. Sorry, Jordan. Yeah, I had a chat with him last year, and it was where he said to me, he was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing classic," and I was like, "Thank the Lord, mate. You're a much better open bodybuilder, in my opinion." I think AJ. So I think it might have been AJ, not AJ Morris. AJ Robert Kelly posted a comparison of these, and I think a few people like kicked off a little bit saying that Josh could have / should have won.
Didn't Josh kick off? I don't think Josh kicked off.
No, Josh didn't. I saw just a few people.
I saw Josh put a couple of stories on there. I don't think he kicked off.
Yeah, but it was like okay. And I think like it really depends on what they're going for. Like I think if this was a PCA show, which again to these gentlemen, PCA is like irrelevant. It doesn't matter to them. But to these two gentlemen, if this was a PCA show, I think Josh wins personally.
Yeah. Josh did look great.
Josh looked fantastic. Yeah, I think he was a touch sharper. I think he was a fair bit better from the back personally, just due to his glutes, but he is a bit smaller, and
his glutes are quite a bit smaller than Ben's. Yeah. I think yes, they looked good, but Ben's glutes were a lot bigger. Josh's upper body on the rear double, and his conditioned through his hamstrings. But again, this is it's quite hard to tell from this angle. Yeah. I think if you're front on there, that looks. I think Ben's legs from the back are a lot bigger.
I was going to say, you can almost see. So this photo here, guys, like you almost to the untrained eye, which is basically anybody which is us.
Yeah.
It looks like Josh is winning the shot, and I actually probably would still have Josh.
But I think if
it was straight on, I think it would be quite obvious the size discrepancy. And it is open bodybuilding, and it's not.
His glutes are a lot smaller.
Yeah, it's not at a PCA level where you can just out condition somebody. Like Ben was and is noticeably a little bit bigger.
Even posing wise, like one thing again to the untrained eye. Look at where Ben's right foot is versus Josh's. Like it's not miles further back, but it's further back. Yeah. So like even that inch or so is him closer to the judges, which makes him look bigger.
Yeah,
little things like that.
So I don't think, like I said, I don't think Josh had an issue. I actually think obviously Josh is doing the pro qual next weekend, so this will be 2 weeks after the show. I do think Josh, if he comes in even better, I think he looked great. If Josh wins a pro card at his next show and he beats Ben, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, like, Josh is at that level for sure.
Yeah, 100%. And the progress he's made from last year to this year is a joke. Like, it's really, really, really good. Ben obviously stepped up from, I think it was his second show. I saw he did like a PCA first timers. Like 2 years ago at this point. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, he's made some wicked progress. Obviously, congrats on the overall. Any other shout outs in open? So like Fraser, for example, Fraser Forster, great goalkeeper. He's tall as well. Fraser McDonald, I think, the guy that was fourth. Fraser's whatever. I'm sorry, mate. You finished fourth.
Fraser whatever.
You finished fourth in the super heavies. Really good progress again. Like he looked class, looked really, really good. It's a shame because 4th out of 4, but like he looked really good. Just a very good lineup. We then go into classic. So I think the mains. This was probably the best class. You had Rory number 1, and Josh Dom. Blue 2, and then Dom number 3.
And then who was 4th?
No, this was this class. So I'm not too sure.
I'm sure we do know that guy.
Do we?
I feel like we do.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. But yeah,
that was a good class.
Bearing in mind, obviously, Dom finished 3rd, and he won the overall. He won the first 2 bros overall last year, and I think he's obviously doing FIBO this weekend. And I know he only did 1 pro qualifier last year.
He didn't peak, I don't think.
Yeah, that's what
from his stories. He was saying that they didn't peak for that show when they put all their focus on FIBO this weekend.
Yeah.
So best of luck for that, mate.
Overall battle had Dan Momentum coaching, so he did a Fitex show the day after, and then he's pulled out of prep. I think he mentioned to me that he had like some family issues and some stuff. So hopefully you're doing well, mate. But you look really good. Great to see like progress, a few kilos up from where he was last year, which is class. And at least he placed in this. Shout out to the PCA Universe where he didn't place. I beat him. He didn't place. Weird question. He should have placed. I think he should have been in the top 5, but he didn't.
Should have knocked you out.
And then he didn't. Yeah, he should have. And he didn't place at Fitex the next day.
Is this him on the left?
Yeah. He didn't place at Fitex the next day, which is questionable. Danny in the overall. I don't think Danny went up against anybody in the class, but if
did he not?
No, I don't think. I didn't see any photos other than him against other people. So obviously a bit of a shame because Danny probably would have won his class.
He would have won his class. Yeah. I think it was close with him and Rory.
Yeah, it looked it. I think from the back, Danny's a bit sharp.
His glutes are like great, aren't they? Yeah. They're just like, it's not, obviously they're peeled, but it's not even just that they're peeled. It's like the symmetry of them and how he poses them as well.
Because they're not even that big. They're just like how
they're just like nicely shaped and really well detailed.
Yeah. And then obviously Rory won the overall. I'm not really too surprised. I thought when I saw Rory going into the show, I was like, that's a pro standard physique, in my opinion.
You can see like the side shot there. From the back, Danny like pushes him, I think. But from the side there, you can see like Rory's
from the front as well. Like Rory's got a bit better shape than everybody in probably every single pose. Dan looks really good in the side shot. And then you've got Harry on the far right. He's coached by Jake Watts, I'm pretty sure. That was, I think, again, annoyingly, I'm pretty sure it was literally where they were all in the open. Like, the only one who beat people, I think, is Rory, and I think maybe Dan. I think Harry was on his own, Danny was on his own. It's like, it's mad to think classic. Like, usually that's quite a busy class.
It is the first show, though.
Yeah.
To be fair, shout out to Danny, because he did look fucking great.
Oh, yeah, he's made mega progress since 2023.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely think as well, like, he actually, like, this is no offence, Danny, but you actually look like a classic bodybuilder this time. I think, like, in 2023, I remember just thinking, oh, you should look like a junior bodybuilder. I know he did classic and junior.
I forget he's still quite young, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's only like 24, 25, yeah, I'm not too sure. But either way, Danny, you look great, mate. Like, you actually do look classic, which is good. And I don't think there's many dudes who are overly classic nowadays. We then move into men's physique. Gerald jumped in 7-week prep, and he won the overall.
Was it a legit 7-week prep, or was it one of them?
7-day prep, bro. He dieted for 6 weeks. Yeah. No, so he jumped in early, and there was a comment on one of these posts that was like, surprising, ... And I saw a few comments that were on some posts, because I think if you go to the back shot, there was a back shot where he was against Seb, so the other gentleman in the middle, and I think Seb beats him quite convincingly from the back, personally.
I think these two beat him from the back.
Yeah,
three, maybe?
I think Gerald looked a little bit soft from the back, but his shape and his bubbliness and his roundness, like...
He looks... And again, like, no, this is, again, as we always say on these podcasts, none of this is ever meant as any offence or anything like that. He looks smaller than he's been in the past.
I think I've seen him on stage.
Is it just because he's not peeled, do you think? And obviously when you're peeled, you look bigger.
I'd just say structurally, like, he looks ridiculous on his own, and then when he stands next to people who aren't,
because he is like a smaller
5'5", and like he's not that wide either.
That's class that he's won that though. Like, you know what I mean? Because like he does look small compared to the rest, but he just, his shape and his posing is class.
The dude on the left to Seb, the Asian gentleman, I think if he was all the way in, I think he probably wins.
Yeah, he's got really
I think he looks
shape.
like he could win. Like, he looks like an overall winner.
Look at Gerald's waist when he's posing
there. It's his waist and it's how symmetrical his abs are, and like even Seb, like Seb's so bubbly, but Seb looks almost slightly awkward in comparison to Gerald in this front shot when it comes to how everything flows. And like, I think it is literally Gerald's back shot and his condition that just holds him back. Like, he's obviously jumped into this. I think it'd be great to see Gerald win a pro card. I remember legitimately watching Gerald, like when I got into men's physique, and like seeing how he posed, trying to practice. I remember like seeing him as a junior on a PCA stage. I think he won the British title 2020, or it was the year before me or the 2 years before me, and I remember being like, wow, shit, that's the standard. Okay. Like,
yeah, he's good.
Like, that raised my sort of expectation up for overall condition, flow, and if I'm being honest, I think the best he looked, and this may be again in hindsight, the best he looked I think was literally like 5 years ago.
This is what I mean. Is that our perception though?
Maybe men's physique, because remember we got into men's physique almost when like Buendia was at his peak.
And he is the Buendia like of amateurs. Yeah.
So like we almost like that transition, like Buendia tapped out, Gerald tagged in for amateur,
and it was literally like he is the next guy.
And then he just never really kicked on, and that's because of he doesn't really take off season too serious. He fucking has KFCs every other week, I'm pretty sure. Like, again, there's you might be more locked in, but I think Gerald's the first one to say that, because let's be honest, he'd be a pro 3 or 4 years ago. He should have been a pro 3 or 4 years ago. So yeah, really, really cool. Unlimited potential on that lad. Like I messaged him like, please just win a pro card, mate, and then just retire. Win a pro card and retire, just so you've got it, because he is good enough. He just hasn't got it yet. We then go into
the female classes.
Yep.
Wellness.
Emily Rich Quimby.
Rich Quimby.
Shout out Rich Quimby from Kev's Van Hire, Loughborough.
No, don't shout him out. He's a twat.
Yeah, he's a twat. We hate Rich.
Anyway, well done to Emily Rich.
Quimby.
This lady is...
Yeah, I've seen her.
Yeah, I'm sure she trained at either Derby or I've seen her in Rotherham, but she's coached by Michael Fox. And I saw her and I was like, I've seen her.
I followed her back because I was like, I recognise her face somewhere. It's like I've said hi or something.
She followed you. Everyone left.
Yeah, great.
Not gonna address that.
No. Don't worry, mate.
Okay. She won figure. And then we spoke about this. Sorry, that was a horrible audible sigh. I sighed then, like about the fit model class, which I'll come on to. It's not her fault at all.
Finn cancelled. We hate
Finn sighed at a class. How dare he?
Beyond the stage post.
Yeah. Finn Kelly sighs at fit model. Audible. No, it's because last night, so I filmed the Natural Physique podcast and we had a question about it, about the fit model class, so it just came up anyway and we spoke about it for a while, so that's why I was like, we're going to talk about that. I think she was the bodybuilding winner, or women's physique champion. Did they not have? Yeah, then they just had bikini, which was, how do you say her name? Laurie Beth. Laurie. She was sponsored by CMP when I used to be.
She's sponsored by Conte now.
Yeah, I'm sure she's sponsored by Conte now. So she won the bikini, and then the fit model was Dion. What did you think to this?
What my thoughts are? Well, the girl in the middle to the left.
She's the one that we spoke about loads last year, Victoria, because she was winning a lot of those.
She won some either natty shows or
she was winning PCA. She won PCA first time as overall last year.
Yeah, and like she literally looks like she's like done half a prep and got on stage.
Yeah, she looks like she's deliberately soft. Prep.
Yeah, which is a bit strange.
And I still think she's too lean for it, or she's too big for it,
maybe.
Which is mental. Like, look at her delts compared to the winner.
Yeah,
and her posing, in my opinion, is better. Like,
but this is a girl who basically has gone through a prep and then she's gone, okay, I now don't need to prep as hard,
which I just find crazy. Like, but it is. We were saying last night. So I think Josh was like, I think they're just trying to be inclusive. Like, they're trying to include people.
Yeah.
And I was like, but they shouldn't. Like, that's not what competitive bodybuilding isn't inclusive. Otherwise, you'd have really fat class.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's for anybody. Or you know,
PCA first timer juniors.
No, but you know what I mean.
Really fat class. Like really fat class. Yeah. PCA first timer.
No, that's like no muscle class.
Yeah, the no muscle.
No, it is, you know what I mean? Though, like who has the least muscle? Let's do that, so we include everyone. That's not bodybuilding.
Who's dieted the least?
It literally, mate.
Who's had the best off season? That would be so funny. Imagine.
It can't be inclusive to everybody. That's not the point.
Yeah.
So with this class being like, it's just so that it includes people. I get that in terms of like people who want less muscle. I do get that, but you don't have to compete.
This class in 2 to 3 years will be basically
bikini now,
bikini,
and then you do it again.
Yeah, bikini with a little bit more body fat.
And then they'll term another one, and it'll be like something model. You know what I mean? It'll be
no, but the thing is, I said this. Like, let's say Scarlett. Shout out Scarlett. We've known Scarlett for years. If Scarlett is the definition of like an amateur to IFBB, she's jacked, and that is very unattainable for most females. And a lot of females get themselves into a cycle with cycles where they go, oh fuck, I need to take X, Y, and Z. I need to do this. I have potential virilization. And this isn't anything about Scarlett. It's more so Scarlett is like legitimately like she's not a small bikini girl. She's like a pretty jacked, hard bikini girl where she was down like playing the poses.
She's small structurally, but when she poses,
but if that's the standard, for amateur bikini, which with this class it probably is only going to get more jacked, it gives people a bit of a pipeline towards, okay, I don't need to be doing fucking X, Y, and Z constantly and causing grief.
But also, are there not other options like competing naturally?
Yeah, there is.
Where you can now get pro cards naturally, and like.
But what gives the NPC more money?
Yeah, exactly.
That's literally.
But this is what I mean. That's fine. But the argument from my standpoint is like, bodybuilding shouldn't be inclusive to everybody.
Oh, I agree.
Like, it should be, if we were saying this last night, if you've got a disability, fair enough. Like, but if
speaking of that, PCA mixed disability, here we go.
Here we go on PCA.
Yeah, that'd be great
segue.
Yeah.
But like, if you are disabled, or if there's a reason why it needs, let's say, inclusive for that person, where it's not their choice. Well, if it's just like, I don't really want that much muscle and I want to be a bit soft. Like, in my opinion, that's not bodybuilding.
I get that.
And I know this isn't bodybuilding. This class literally isn't bodybuilding. It's called fit model. But like, that's strange that they're also competing in the same show that Ben and Josh are competing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It'd be weird, like being backstage, like, you know, like seeing them and like they're like, oh, I've competed, and they've got off stage and they're like dehydrated,
getting brownies in.
and they're just like,
you haven't dieted.
Yeah, you haven't even dieted. Like, you've literally just like done a 6 week, like literally you dieted for 6 weeks, if that. You potentially could go into it in your off season, like if you don't get that fat. So yeah. Anyway, this show was really busy.
We can't go through it.
It was a lot of reels they posted. So we're basically going to skip through a few classes and just get to the ones with a little bit more substance. I think we'll start off and say obviously the first class today, PCA PCA, mixed disability. I think it was 3 dudes. Shout out to those 3 gentlemen. Like, they're like really cool to see. Obviously, all different kinds of disabilities, but it's great to see. And like, we were actually saying, like, it's interesting to see like where they got to get on stage. Like, that would be, I think if they interviewed them and said like, who told you about this? Because I imagine like the average person in a wheelchair probably isn't going to be aspiring, like, especially this gentleman here, like, he's probably not aspiring to be like, I'm going to be a bodybuilder. He's probably doing something functional.
Maybe someone's just said, like, do you want to try it?
Yeah, give it a try. And that would actually be quite interesting. So yeah, anyway, going into the first class of the day, we have Alex Ross, first place out of 1.
You called him his name.
Yeah, Ross.
Usually calls him Ross.
Yeah, I usually call this guy Ross.
I used to coach Alex. Yeah. We did a prep in 2022. 2022? Yeah, it was. No, 2023. Yeah, it was the same year as me, but he did a bit slightly earlier shows.
So he's, I don't know if you, like, if you paid attention to his prep. So obviously he did, I think, is he done, or is he doing one more show? I think he was doing one more this weekend. He was supposed to do PCA Universe.
I thought he competed against Ross.
Yeah.
And then
Ross competed against Ross.
I'm sure he said like he was going to be doing another show in 6 weeks, but then I saw him compete here, and then I think that was maybe his last show, or it was definitely his last show as a junior, because it was his birthday that day after or something. But yeah, he's obviously made big improvements, going enhanced. It's just a shame he didn't get to compete against anyone, basically.
And also, I think it's a shame that he didn't get to get like 100% condition. Like, I don't think he's not miles off.
He might if he's carrying on.
Yeah, I think he's actually 1 more week, which is a bit of a shame. And he put a post up or something like I know with you, he kind of like left prep a bit early.
I think, and again, no disrespect at all, I think it's one of those where like Alex puts on muscle easily. Like he doesn't, no easier than other people. But you know what I mean? Like he's somebody who thrives in an off season, eating, training hard. He used to just like love lifting heavy and training hard and getting strong. That's awesome. But with that, you usually find they're the type of people who are a little bit more challenging to get legit peeled. He is very lean. He's like not far off at all. His glutes are detailed. His midsection is lean, but he's just that little bit off where it's like he's that bit off. Shit, he's fucking peeled condition. He's close to that,
and that's why it's like if you're only doing one more show, bro. Like,
and obviously, like, go on.
No, I was gonna say if he's only doing one more, like obviously he got beaten his first show by Gulliver's dude due to condition. 1 out of 1 here. Like obviously, like the progress he's made is really good. And it's like you're so close, bro.
Yeah, I feel like he's got a lot of muscle and he's got a nice shape and he's got a good physique, but if he could get all the way in, I know he was like putting on his story that like they asked for more condition, and like realistically, mate, you got beat on condition. Like so that's why they're saying, oh, if you were a bit more. They're not saying like you're fat, but they're literally just saying like the guy that beat you, Ross, he's just fucking absolutely peeled, mate. Like if you
were
had that bit more
sharper, you would have beat him.
Yeah, that's all they're saying. They're not saying you're fat. Like I think it's easy when you're in that headspace in a prep
to be thinking, oh my god, it's like you can't see the end. It's like you can't even see oh my god, miles.
You're in more condition. Like, how can I be in more condition?
Yeah, like literally take off a few kilos and you're there, mate. Like you'd be really, really hard to beat. Like really, really hard to beat in the juniors. So it's a shame because like you're there and like you literally could diet for 2 weeks and be spot on. And like I know you like put like coming in better for this show, and it's like he's the same weight, and it's like you look maybe a little bit better, but that's just because of let's say the tan, kind of probably a bit of a
I think he was a touch sharper potentially, but it's only you can't do a lot in a week.
You can't do a touch sharper
show to show. You can't do a lot.
A touch sharper's all right when you're 99%. When you're not, it's like you need to be a decent bit, but not loads, just a little bit. Okay, so we then go into what was this novice? I imagine novice is usually after, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so. Sorry guys, it's not loading.
Here we are. Novice bodybuilding. Is this the one that...
this was Tom, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Tom Taylor, this was a lineup before. I think obviously Tom finished 4th, so they didn't post his reel, which is a bit of a shame, obviously. But yeah, Tom got 4th. Obviously, he competed at the Granite the week before, obviously. Like, I don't know, Tom, like, if you want to fill us in, he messaged me afterwards. I'm guessing he probably... Did he message you after the last podcast we did?
No.
Oh, I fucking hate you, mate. Tom, if you could, mate, let us know, like, did you, and this is nothing offensive because this is not, we're not out to get you, what did you do after your show the week before? Because
Josh,
you looked almost, if anything, mate, just like very much like, you weren't like, we said, you could have been a bit sharper, but we know that on the first show. But I thought like, especially your midsection just looked like it was carrying a little bit of water.
Josh Campbell said he saw him at JP's or at a gym in Scotland a few days before, and Tom was like, oh yeah, I'm feeling really good, like I'm aiming to be better for this next show. And then again, I'm not going to like go and say like what happened, but like I don't know whether it was because I think Tom has left his coach now.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, I don't know whether it was to do with the peak or what. So I'm not going to speculate. But
I'd be more so curious, Tom, because I always saw he only posted about it like today or yesterday or something. He didn't. I checked his page. He hadn't posted a single thing, and it's like usually that's when a show doesn't go to plan.
Yeah.
So it could have been stress. It could have been bad digestion. It could have been whatever. If I was to guess, it looked like almost a case where you competed. Like, this is just from a coach's eye. We use it the same. You've probably gone out, enjoyed yourself a bit too much, which is sound, because you had a good look. You obviously got second, I think, out of 3, and it was like a big improvement. And then it's almost like I've had it before, where sometimes you just don't respond. Like, not me. I've had it with clients. I remember Conor Flanagan in 2023. Like, we did the same thing that I would usually expect, and it was like so Tuesday. It was like, okay, cool. Give us another day. Wednesday, okay, give us another day. Thursday, another day, and then it comes out to the weekend, and you can't really peak because like, it doesn't come off.
When Matt last year, Butcher's Wet Dream, when he won the MBFI overall, we went out with his mum and dad. He got pizza, he got a dessert. He didn't go crazy. I was literally with him. He didn't go crazy, but even after that, like, he probably didn't get back to his absolute best.
No.
Even just after that, and I think part of that is psychological.
You're almost like, I'm done.
But I don't think he was. I don't think Matt thought that.
But maybe your body's like, oh, 100%. I'm out that hole now, and it almost doesn't allow you to get back there.
I think that was the same for me last year. You know, like in between shows a couple of times, and I was like, well, my family have travelled. I'm going to go out for a meal, and like I never went crazy. I just enjoyed a meal, and my weight like barely ever went up from that meal. But it's the switch off that. I mean, psychologically is great, but I think physiologically, I don't think it helps. No. Especially when you go back into dieting or back into a depletion or whatever it may be.
There's almost like a tilting point where you go a little bit too high and it just fucks you up. So yeah, Tom, like I said, this isn't anything like to insult you. It's more so I'm actually somewhat curious. If you let me know, because it just didn't look like the show went to plan in comparison. But then also PCA standard is higher. The lighting is a little bit probably harsher condition-wise. You know,
who beat him? Not at this show, at the other show.
Because
I don't think I saw that class.
Who was it? I think I know who. No, I'm not too sure, actually.
Anyway, this is a guy who's competed like multiple years in a row, and he's the loveliest guy ever. He competed the same year that I did. He also competed last year. He did the first timers show at WMBF. He's natty.
Is he still natural?
Yeah, he's natty.
That's class.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's really, really good. He's coached by that KD trains guy that trains at Ultraflex Rotherham. Really nice guy, Moundu. Sorry if I don't know how to pronounce your name, mate. I think he turned 30 like the night before or the day before. I saw it on his story. He was out, and he was asleep when he was out. He was sat there asleep, and people were filming him for his 30th birthday. Right. And then like the next morning, I saw him doing this, and I was like,
"That's
what?"
Great.
Yeah,
yeah, that's really cool because he doesn't think much of it. He's just like, "Oh yeah, sound, I'm competing tomorrow." Yeah.
And then obviously Stephen won the class, which again is expected, really. I think. And again, this is no disrespect, and I think this is a warm-up show. I'm pretty sure for Moundu. He's never been inside out, and I've always said this to him. And I remember,
black guy genetics, bro.
No, but I remember I've spoke to him like at shows and said like, mate, if you were like inside out, you're gonna win everything. Like you're a joke. Like you're really good. And he was like, I remember saying to him one time, I was like, you probably need like 5 kilos off, and he wasn't as lean.
Oh, is this the dude? And he was like, what?
Yeah, and he was like, what? And I was like, honestly, mate, like if you did, you'd be like unbeatable. But again, like as we were saying with Alex, it's not easy. Like
it does go to show, like this guy's a fair bit more conditioned personally than Alex, like especially through the hamstrings and stuff. But like you look at this in comparison to Steve, it is literally just condition.
But also that's rare that people get into that condition.
Yeah, this guy, to be fair, I'm gonna be honest, I'm surprised like I don't know where he would have finished in the overall, but like this guy, this looks like an overall winner just based off how conditioned he is, and PCA love a bit of condition.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna win the overall. Right, like we said, we can't go through every single class.
Yeah.
Shout out Greven. I'm pretty sure this guy's name. So he beat Matt. When Matt first ever competed.
Yeah.
He's the only guy that beat Matt in. Well, it was a classic class, and he beat Matt at that time. I think he is natty as well.
4th place, crazy.
I know, this class was a joke. I saw that and I was like, what? I'm pretty sure he is natty unless he's changed because he did compete naturally. Yeah. But he's ridiculous. But yeah, obviously Wayne won that class who we spoke about last week. And he just looks really classic. Like he's not the leanest on stage.
He doesn't need to be though. I think
got crazy fullness, really nice flow, posing's really nice. He just suits the class
We got a question on the podcast like we did the other day that was like, get Wayne on. And to be fair, the one thing is that we probably could do like a little interview section where maybe we film like a 10-minute interview and upload it separately. But yeah, Wayne, he did an interview after the Granite and he was like, oh, shout out to my coach. He was like, I've not been the easiest client. So clearly it's just those boys. Like that's how it is. Trend chat boys.
Who is his coach?
Sam Goodrich. I'm pretty sure.
They all look good though still, don't they?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like they've all got these weird genetics, these boys.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
They
shout
can
out
be
Wayne.
shit and look mint.
Wayne, let us know. What have you done, bro? I want to know, like, how bad of a client have you been? We're interested, mate. So yeah, shout out Wayne, look class. We then have this dude with the blondest hair to best tan ratio I think I've ever seen.
Kieran.
Yeah, Kieran. Looks really good.
Yeah.
Looks nice, lovely shape, good arms. One of those sort of things, again, no surprise, like he almost looks like he could be a classic bodybuilder if he was probably just maybe a little bit less jacked.
Yeah, he's a bit too big, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's got good shape, and like again, it's not really a surprise. Like for PCA, they love a bit of that. I think maybe he could be a touch sharper, but
Yeah,
I think as well he's
definitely.
pretty dark, and he's not. Looks like his glaze
class
is too
didn't
good.
look. Was he on his own or was this Masters? He might have been on his own.
Maybe.
Yeah, looks
fair
like it.
enough. So again, as always, these bodybuilding classes just really not got that many people in. That's the overall winner. So yeah, this is the
Yeah,
medium.
Ali, wasn't it?
Yeah, Ali. Is it Brown?
Brown.
Alex
His
Brown.
name's like Ali Brown.
Yeah. So yeah, I actually never. I'm going to be honest, Brian, but I followed you the other day. I had no idea who you are.
I'm sure I
But
followed him the other day.
he looks class. Looks
Coached
really,
by-
really good.
What's his name that we had on the podcast? Scottish guy.
Oh, AMS, yeah, Andy Scott.
Andy Scott.
Yeah, I
Coached
saw
by him.
actually Andy Scott share a few of this guy's photos.
Yeah,
and
he
I
looks
thought
great,
like
man.
he looked class. So yeah, like really, really good.
I wonder if it was close.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Like Steve,
Yeah,
Wayne,
yeah,
pretty good overall. The guy that we just went on,
yeah.
Kieran, he's just
Yeah, it's really
Conditions,
nice, isn't it?
crazy.
Yeah, condition peeled, real good shape.
that on a reel as well. Like
Yeah.
the reel takes off a bit, and that's mental.
Yeah, exactly.
Like his side legs crazy,
Yeah, nasty,
nasty. Yeah.
nasty.
100%.
Let's get nasty.
All or nothing.
142. So yeah, we then go into some female classes. Do we know any of these individuals? I don't think we do. That girl on the 15.8k views, far right, middle, she did the PCA first timers the week before, and then she did this one. I think she won both. Yeah, she did
Yeah.
PCA first timers. I would actually say I didn't recognise her because we both said that she could have been sharper for the PCA. She was the one who won, obviously, the toned figure.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, they've gone for a softer look. And like, she's still a touch soft, but she's a fair bit better
looks
than,
good,
yeah, like maybe again tan, maybe just again like took off a little bit of weight.
Stress.
But yeah, she
Not
looked
your first
she
show
looked a
ever,
hell of a
you're
lot
probably not
leaner. I
anywhere near
didn't
the
recognise her. I didn't recognise her, especially through the upper.
Yeah.
So yeah, fair play. Like whatever you did in the last week, you looked a hell of a lot
It
better.
probably is just relaxing.
Yeah, definitely. Ladies athletic figure.
Looks like it must have been a good class.
Yeah,
She's in third.
she's got sick hair.
Yeah.
Number 2. I feel like I recognise this girl, but I don't know who she is. Like I recognise her face. And then first place was. This is the overall winner.
She's class.
Yeah, this guy, like this is a girl you see, and you're just like, yep, cool, congratulations on your sword. Like,
Yeah, she's really good.
see you at the universe for your pro card. Really good, yeah. Like, I don't really think you're gonna probably be beating that personally. Like, you'd find it very hard. Maybe a little bit more through the lower, like hamstrings, maybe out of quad.
I think part of that's posing as
Yeah.
well. She's like on her toes then.
Yeah.
It's like in the routine. I bet when she's actually hitting her poses,
Yeah.
that's probably a little bit better.
Yeah, crazy.
Shape's really nice. She won the overall, didn't
Yeah.
she?
We then go
physique.
into men's physique. Go the guy on the right. So this is he did two.
He
I think
won, yeah, he went
He won
to
it.
Detroit.
Detroit. Yeah, you don't want to
Don't
go to
wanna go
Detroit.
there.
Did you get shot? I'm surprised he
People
survived.
kill
yeah.
each other
Yeah, you don't want to go to Detroit. He did. He went to Detroit and won an overall.
and came back alive.
Yeah, came back alive and came back peeled.
Yeah, who else went to Detroit?
Who?
Your idol, Jack Eagle.
My idol. Love his hair. Love Jack's hair. Yeah, this guy was in the overall. I actually think personally, I think he could have probably had the overall. Just based off, I'll go into it in a moment. But yeah, really, really good condition. Like maybe a touch weaker in through the back, which
Yeah, I
is
was gonna say,
again for like
it's
two
his
bros.
back, innit?
One of those where it's like when it's two bros, you got a front shot. Not many people are beating him from the front. From the back, some people are beating him. We then go into the overall winner, Dean. I actually think this reel makes him look worse than what he is. Dean is absolutely sliced.
Yeah,
like you can tell
lean.
he's lean. But I saw some photos of him, and wow, his midsection,
it's
probably some of the best condition.
We spoke a lot about him last year because he did the Granite show last year.
Yeah,
and he was class then.
Yeah, really handsome as well. He's a good-looking dude. And yeah, like really, really nice physique. Everything flows well. Structurally, not like massive, but I think he's just got that sort of overall balance that is very challenging to beat.
He's very good. I think
the men's physique short class, look at the third place finisher. This class is really good.
Eric.
Is this Eric?
Yeah.
Eric?
I don't know. His name's like Eric Gowns or Gaines.
Wait, what? This is...
Do you remember the guy who was at Noah's hotel room when Noah competed?
Eric, bro, I'm not going to lie, man. You've aged a lot, man.
He did like classic and stuff back then, and then he's changed. He usually does classic. He's changed to physique.
He was the one who danced around on stage, didn't he?
Yeah, he's dancing around now.
No, but like he used to dance around. Eric, bro, I'm not going to lie, man. I didn't even recognise it was you. It might be the facial hair. He looks like he's aged a lot.
I don't think he had a beard last time.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, mate. I didn't actually recognise who it was.
His legs look good in the shorts, to be fair, quite full.
Yeah. Yeah,
everything's lovely.
Yeah, really, really good. Jesus Christ, mate, the beard has changed your entire life. You went from 18 to like 34 in like a good 2-year period, bro. Fair play. We then go into the... Is this Finley? Yeah, we go into the tall class. So
how tall is Finley?
He's on the smidge. Like, if he was 0.2 of a centimetre smaller, he would have been short. So yeah, Finley got into the overall, won his class. Admittedly, I said to him straight away out on the phone call that we had, I was like, your class was a bit of shit, mate. Sorry. Like, it wasn't the best class. The short class was a much better class. I actually am very happy in a way with how Finley looked based off how he was looking. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I think obviously it's quite obvious for the people that follow Finley. Like, I'll be straight up honest, Finley's genetics, potential, everything is stupid. He started prep, funnily enough, I don't know if I told you this, he started prep at 97, 98 kilos. Guess what he was the day before his show?
93.
96 and a half. So a kilo and a half basically. He somehow managed to basically just recomp. And in the class it didn't really matter. And PCA are going to love his shape. He's got really, really nice shape. He's bursting full. It's just the conditions.
Don't you think that they'll have gone, we've seen him before better than this? Yeah,
potentially. That's what they would have thought. Or they would have thought, we've seen you before, you're good, but you could be sharper. And they probably... And
he was sharper when he won the overall.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot sharper.
Yeah, I'd say a little bit. I don't think he was massively...
He was, and he was definitely sharper.
Oh yeah, I think, but he's also 13 kilos up. So like he's not 13 kilos up of like pure body fat. But yeah, with Finley it was a shame because I said to him, I had a call with him about 10 days out where we started to like pull things back, and I said to him, I think you could win your class or you'll just simply get beat by someone who's dieted properly than you. And he didn't win the overall. He got beat by Dean, and like again, I'm not being horrible to Dean because at the end of the day Dean stuck to his diet, but if Finley is 100%, he walks the overall without even 90%. Finley walks the overall without really too much challenge. Dean is a smaller version of Finley, but Dean has inside out condition, and that's why I actually thought the Masters guy was going to get it, because I saw Dean and Finley and they look basically the same, just Dean's smaller but sharper, and the Masters guy was had probably the best abs, didn't have the thinnest skin, but was definitely the best from the front, and I think all from the back they probably weren't maybe the best. So yeah, it's a shame because I think on another day Finley, click on that reel there, like I think you see the condition difference here, and Finley, like I said, shape, posing from the back, he was actually like surprisingly good. I basically said to him, don't pose your back, and I think your front's going to be better than your back. But I think from the back Finley was sound, passable. From the side Finley was all right. It's just the midsection in comparison, and
it's just conditions. These two are a lot leaner.
Yeah, that's literally what it is. Like you see here, Finley is not miles off, but he is he's enough off to the point where the judges
when
would say,
compare to them two, he is quite a bit off compared to them.
100%. And like is this passable condition? Yeah, 100%. But is it good enough condition for what Finley could bring? No. So we've got a few other shows planned. I actually do think Finley has grown a good amount of he's grown up a fair bit in this in the last year or year and a half. But unfortunately, he missed the mark, which is annoying. There's only one person who can stop that, and that's Finley. So we've got a good plan. Hopefully, he brings it together, because if he does, I genuinely don't see really anyone in the PCA beating Finley in the amateurs, 100%. But yeah, so that's that. Dean won the overall, Ali won the overall, and then the ladies athletic figure girl on the right who's a freak.
And then who's the bikini?
Yeah, who's the bikini? Is this her?
Yeah. Kennedy
Navarro. What a name, Kennedy Navarro.
That's pretty cool.
Sounds like a GTA character, that. like, doesn't it? Like Kennedy. Yeah, class.
Right.
Cool.
What else did you want to go
We'll go through the Fitex quickly. So yeah, there was a Fitex show. First Fitex show of the
Is
year?
that it? We've not missed anything else, have we?
No, don't think so. Yeah, Fitex show, first Fitex show of the year. Sinai was, so my girlfriend was doing like a posing seminar before, which funnily enough, Dec apparently looked at her really funnily. Like, she
Like,
asked
he knew
about,
who it was,
yeah, but
but not.
Sinai didn't recognise him with the tan and stuff. And Sinai like asked like, oh, yeah, is anyone here for like the men's posing? And there's only like a handful of people.
and just one
and
person.
apparently, like, she looked at Dec and Dec just like looked at her really funnily. And Sinai was like, oh, he looked at me really weirdly. I forgot it was him. So yeah, the best class by an absolute mile, from what I can tell, was the classic. Go on. What's the dude's? Jack Davies. Go on Jack Davies' post because he put like a photo up of the class. So yeah, it was the classic class. We had Dec. We had Jack Davies' client. We had Dan Momentum coaching. So obviously that's the guy who won who was in the classic overall at Two Bros. So he did the show the next day. This was obviously on the Sunday, and like I said, so Dan went basically from Two Bros into this, and I know that there was some potential, click through the photos here, there was some potential controversy between like the winners and Dec, for example. So shout out to Dec, the actual winner. We'll go on to a photo of him soon. Dec, I used to train with when I was like 15, 16, 17. I used to work here at the gym that I used to train out of. So my first ever gym membership, he used to like work and PT out of there. So I've known Dec. So Dec's the gentleman in the middle to the left. So I've known Dec for years, and I know because Sanaa she judged with Fitex. They usually judge Fitex as basically who's the best bodybuilder. It's not always who's the most classic. And I think like if you were to look at the overall kind of class, I think there's probably some considerations to be made. Like I can't remember who it was, but they put a photo up of basically them front on, and I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. Like I think when it's like maybe a front relaxed, when it's a front relaxed or whatever, it might be a bit more challenging to see. But like Dec was by far the most conditioned especially through the glutes.
Yeah, his glutes look great.
Yeah, his glutes look really, really good. And I think his overall balance was probably the best on the actual day. But I think if you were to go off shape, I don't think Dec wins. I think Dec's probably like 5th or 6th. And I think people usually get themselves almost accustomed towards the classic, like, oh, you need to have amazing shape. And I don't think Dec's not in denial about his shape's not amazing, but he's brought a real good competitive package. He got second in the overall. Clearly the Fitex judges like him. Sound, cool, crack on. Like, sorry, it is what it is. But it's obviously a bit of a shame.
Overall?
The bodybuilder. But yeah, like you can see here, like I wouldn't look at Dec's shape and go, oh my god, he screams classic. Like especially like here when they're all stood here. But at the same time, like when it comes to his overall package and probably how things flow and how things pop, fair enough. That's how it is. But yeah, really good lineup. Dude on the left here, that's the one that Jack Davies' client. He put a post up, I don't know if you, like the one that we clicked on, and it was like we had multiple people come up to him and say how he didn't place or how he didn't even win. And obviously Dan was obviously a bit faded from the day before, and he said that he wasn't too happy with how he looks. But like I said, Fitex judge it as basically who's the best bodybuilder, and they do like I remember seeing the Fitex Classic British Champ 2023, and I think it might have been 2024, and I remember being like, that's bollocks, he's the least classic there. But he was the best bodybuilder. And I think that's literally what Sanaa said, they judge it slightly differently. So if this was a PCA show, they probably maybe a different line. I don't really know. Dec looks sound. Like,
yeah, but it's a hard one, isn't it? He looks sound, but they all look good.
Yeah, they all look good.
Like, when you're not there, I wouldn't try and judge it when you're not there, you know what I mean? Like, he looks really good there.
Yeah,
that's a nice
quarter turn, I think he wins that easily.
But it's just hard to really actually judge it if you're not there. But like condition-wise, looks good. Yeah. His posing looks decent. His shape, like you say, is not the best, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
I wouldn't be thinking like he's not got classic kind of shape. And again, like,
look at the glutes.
Yeah, you can kind of see there probably what they're seeing in terms of like overall condition and muscularity combined. If he could keep his adductor gap closed, that would be really, really good. But to be fair, it's a good class.
Yeah, it is a really good class.
Good standard.
That shot Dec wins, I'd say.
If he was on his glute, for sure, but he wins it anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, what we got?
Oh, we got a face-to-face. Dec.
Harrison and
Dec. Come on, bro. What is that, bro? You know what? I take away all I said that's good about you,
should have
man.
lost.
Yeah, you should have finished dead last for that. I got that throw up, man. Oh, God. Yeah. But no, fair play, Dec. Really, really good to see. That's the overall battle. The guy on the right won the overall. He's jacked. He's fucking huge.
Dec's good, though. His erectors are really good.
Yeah. He was a powerlifter. Dec used to powerlift.
Yeah. Not bad, is he?
No, not at all.
It's cool.
Deck, basically, mate, just do this year, take loads of gear, take more gear than what you are, and just do open in like 2-3 years. Please. So yeah, he won a PCA Pro card.
Don't take that advice, mate.
No, do natural bodybuilding and make no progress.
Go back and do natural bodybuilding.
Yeah, make no progress.
Just kill yourself.
Yeah, that's what basically natural bodybuilding is. You might as well. You're not going to make. You'll make the same progress.
Bodybuilding is. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, at least you'll be fucking jacked when you die.
Yes.
So yeah, that's that. So that's the Fitex. I don't know who won the female overall.
This woman.
Sound?
Oscar Boral. Oh no, that's the photographer. Sorry.
Oh. Oscar Boral, fitness photographer.
Checking. Sorry. First time Masters Bikini champion and women's overall. That's the
girl from
Progress. Premier.
Premier. Yeah, she's lovely.
Annabelle.
Yeah.
Shout out to Annabelle.
Yeah, that's good to see.
She was good.
Yeah.
And then Harrison won his class, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's coached by Tom. He did the same show that Josh Campbell did, the WNBF first timers.
Oh really?
Yeah, in the juniors.
Oh, fair enough.
I think
he's a really nice lad.
Third. Yeah, he's a nice
really
guy.
Nice, yeah.
Right.
That's that. Yeah, cool. Hope everyone's enjoyed. Those are the show reviews. We are back. So as always, we'll do our usual disclaimer. If we have said anything that we have caused offence, please let us know. We do not mean this in any way other than education content for people that are viewing it. We do not we don't take photos ourselves. We don't go on anyone's private socials. We don't ask for photos. We literally view the stuff that is publicly and readily available for us to consume.
We don't know. Some people might actually be on private.
I think Deck is private. Oh, no. I think he is. Yeah, Deck. I'm sorry, bro. We've publicly put you to about 400 viewers. So sorry, mate. So yeah, that's that. Hope everyone's enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe. We will see you later. Bye bye. Come on. I need a wee.